That's going to spook the market a little bit. All those people that put those trades, they're going to be wrong. They're going to be invalidated, and they're going to have to pull out those trades.
Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research. Sean and I will never, ever contact you for investment opportunities or anything of that sort. To get in touch with the real Mango team, make sure to join our official Discord chat using the link in the description below. Stay safe out there, and remember, do it Mango. And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and Enjin coin analysis video. I have Sean with me today. Sean, say hi.
Good morning, everyone, and a happy Wednesday to all of you. Krisha, today is the big meeting that everyone's been waiting for.
Yes, sirree. Markets await the Fed's meeting before making the next big move in the week ahead. So, Sean, we will be talking about this today, but in addition to this, we will also be going over Bitcoin as well as Enjin coin. And why Enj? Because Enj won the popular vote by a landslide. The
Enjin crew showed up.
You're seeing those strong communities really rise in these sort of market conditions. So we have Cardano up there, we got VeChain, Enjin clearly is one of those communities.
Let's not forget Matic.
Oh yes, Matic too. Matic was actually the close second. But anywho, guys, if you want us to cover any altcoin that you are looking at, go ahead, pause the video, get down to the comments section, and let us know which altcoin it is that you want us to cover next. Okay, the popular vote wins. Alrighty? And also, guys, do not forget to smash that like button and also subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Those likes help us understand whether or not you guys are actually enjoying this kind of content.
Yep.
So, Sean, are you ready to get into the action?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to start off with the FOMC meeting. It says markets await the Fed's meeting before making the next big move in the week ahead. Why are markets waiting, Sean?
So essentially, people are just looking to see whether or not there are going to be any surprises that come up in the meeting. So over the past 6 months, the Fed have remained relatively dovish, and most of the market, from my understanding, is expecting the Fed to maintain that dovish posturing going into this meeting and after the meeting as well.
So what do you mean by dovish?
So essentially, the Fed is considered to be dovish if they are not as concerned about interest rates as they are concerned about continuing the growth of the economy and keeping employment rates up, right?
Oh, okay.
So they are considered to be hawkish. That's the flip side of it, where they are watching the interest rates like a hawk, right? That's one way to remember this. If they're watching interest rates as like a hawk and they're like, oh, wait a minute, we got to keep that under control, right? If they show signs of being concerned, about the interest rates, about yields going up. If you guys have been following Mango for a while now, for the past months, we've been keeping an eye on the US 10-year yield chart. Why? Because again, similar to how the rest of the market is using this as a proxy to gauge how the Fed will respond, well, the Bitcoin community should be watching this too, because this is really, really important. If the Fed come out with any signs of showing hawkishness, that's going to be a surprise, right? Because people expect the Fed to remain dovish, and based on them remaining dovish, right, people are going to be acting and putting their money into the markets accordingly. Now, we have to keep in mind that there are always going to be people who are going to speculate ahead of the FOMC meeting, right? And if we have the market expectation as a base case that the Fed will remain dovish, essentially, they will not be looking to increase interest rates, right? So again, simple way to understand dovish versus hawkish. If the Fed are not looking to increase interest rates, they are more dovish. If they are looking to increase interest rates, they are hawkish. So if we are going into the meeting, putting in trades before the meeting on the expectation that the Fed is dovish, and then they show any signs during the meeting indicating that, hey, you know what, we may be concerned with inflation, we may actually pull up the date on when we increase hikes a little bit earlier than we intended on, that's going to spook the market a little bit. And all those people that put those trades based on the Fed, based on Jay Powell remaining dovish, they're going to be wrong. They're going to be invalidated, and they're going to have to pull out those trades. So all that price action that you're seeing over here that may be pushed up because of people front running that dovishness, well, they're going to pull those trades, and you're going to see a sell-off. And then how the market reacts is going to be really important as traders to us. Do we see continued selling? Do we see other traders come in and press on that, or do we see that as a buying opportunity? Or not we, do the market participants see that as buying opportunity and say, hey, they are wrong because of the short-term move, this is a buying opportunity, boom, boom, boom? Because that's how things unfold, and that's how you get the trades. That's how you get the trapped traders on one side or the other.
Okay, so ultimately what you're saying here is that we're going to have to wait on that little piece of information to really come to us. Basically, what is the verdict at the FOMC meeting, which takes place today, I believe, correct? All right, so it's about waiting on that, because even any price action that took place, like, at least this is what I garner from what you said, any price action that just took place on the chart, even if it was a slight sort of move to the upside, we saw Bitcoin actually have this break. If there is a sign of hawkishness from the Fed, you're saying that this could see a potential sell-off.
So it's really important to understand, though, right? If you're playing the short to midterm trades, then you're more concerned about these like smaller term breaks. If you're playing the bigger macro time frames, you're playing the 4-day, the weekly, the monthly, then you're not as concerned, because you should have a macro underlying thesis of how all of these things should be unfolding, right? So, for example, in the Paul Tudor Jones meeting, the interview that took place only a couple of days ago, he indicated flat out that if the Fed shows no signs of wanting to target the inflation problem right away, then he's going to go all in on the inflation trade, where he's going to be buying more crypto, buying more gold, and buying more commodities, right? So there are other traders who are concerned about the long-term implications of the Fed not dealing with the problem right now, right? While there are other traders who are concerned with the short-term implications of how the market will react to the Fed's response, or to the Federal's, the FOMC's tone, right? Just their wording could really sway the market. So it's really interesting to see how all of this unfolds.
Alrighty, so I mean, we don't have to wait too long for that decision to really come through. It's going to be a very interesting next couple of hours leading to the next daily close, really. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, but and what's really cool about this picture is that, Sean, yesterday you marked out, points of resistance for everyone out here on Bitcoin's chart, which also lined up. It has confluence with things like the 200 exponential moving average, as well as the 200 simple moving average.
Yeah.
Right. We have these two regions, and we can see that price got up there. We're seeing that rejection on the daily, but now question is, do we break? If we break, likely going to come to the 200 SMA to give that an official test. Do you think that break could line up with the? I mean, I'd be anticipating something like that with what you just said, wherein, depending on the decision, we could see either follow through to the upside if it's a positive outcome. If it's a negative one, then we could see some downside continuation, perhaps the next region coming in at the 21 EMA. What are your thoughts on the technicals?
Yeah, so exactly. So there are three outcomes over here that we need to be watching for. And we were talking about this, by the way, even in the Mango Discord. So if you guys haven't joined yet, go ahead and join. It's available. You can join the community at themangoway.com/discord. Themangoway.com/discord. Okay, so essentially, the first outcome, Kusha, you already talked about, is us breaking towards the upside.
Correct.
Right? The second outcome is us not seeing any follow through over here and then breaking back down. Okay, now that will put us back into, again, we don't need to necessarily go back into the channel. We could test the top of the channel and then go back up. But if we do break back inside the channel, right, that's where I'll be really watching to see what happens. Because do we come in and put another low there after? Because then this turns back into that descending triangle that failed to break towards the upside, becoming a very choppy zone, and we're putting in a lower low. So we're gone back into the bears being in control. If we break back into that channel, into the range, right, better way to look at it, and go in and put in a new low compared to these lows here, that's going to be giving us a short trade opportunity from here towards the downside 25,000, right? If we do
Right.
get that lower high after that, or hey, maybe we just see a cascading effect. Now, I'm just talking about the downside potential, right? That we need to be keeping an eye out for, depending on how everything unfolds. But again, if everything goes a-okay and the market responds, well, then we'll be looking for that upside move, and then we'll be looking for something like this.
Okay.
Again, this is all simplified, of course, guys. I can't get too technical with it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think there's enough technicals, because essentially what we look at here at Mango is, we look for certain points of reference. Now, we have one overhead, right, which is the 200 EMA as well as the 200 simple moving average. Now, the one that comes in really at the bottom is essentially the range that we recently just broke out of.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
It's that right there. So what Sean is saying is that as soon as we start breaking back down below that, that's when he'll be looking for continuation.
I'll be looking for weakness.
Weakness, and that weakness is going to be given to us as soon as we start seeing price take out these lows right here. Okay, at which point the next region you said is going to come in. I'm looking at 27K, and you're looking at 25. You said.
I'm just
right?
rounding up.
Okay, cool.
The thing is, right, as soon as we break back into the range, it's going to be the first sign of weakness anyways. But it's not enough for me to like go flat on for a big short trade until we actually take out those support levels on the candle closes at the very least.
Yeah, so that's right here, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Another thing I do want to point out to you guys is that honestly, you can keep it really simple and not even watch the daily time frames, in my opinion. Watch the weekly. Remember, we talked about this going into this weekly open. We've retaken the Kijun, right? So just wait for the next weekly close if you must, right? We have the 21 EMA coming overhead too as resistance. So that's even more incentive to not dive into any short-term or mid-term bull trades, right? And at the same time, you don't want to be going short either, because you do have the weekly Kijun right underneath. There's a range trade, but what kind of edge is that, right? There's not much. I'd rather take a trade underneath the Kijun and above the Tenkin if I was playing this ultra safe. The 4-day is also another really good way to be trading this. I've been trading this on primarily the dynamic right over here. And again, what's the dynamic telling us? Overhead resistance. This has literally been the guiding light for us, and you can see that as soon as we break overhead over here, we'll also be taking out this horizontal, Krisha, right over here.
That's right.
Right? So these candle closes will be taken, and you can see that each time we broke out of this range, we have had a nice move. Right?
Volatility is sort of picked up in those regions.
Break above, we have moved towards the upside. We break down, we have moved towards the downside. So it's a volatile range we'll be breaking out of now. We just need to be patient.
Right. I think this market, Sean, belongs to the traders, the scalpers and the range traders right now. No trend trades to be had. Not yet until we have like that
Completely
definite, that definite sort of direction as to where price wants to go to.
I do want to point out a couple of fun things happening on the lower time frames that you lower time frame traders can be keeping an eye out for, and it's this action right over here. Let me just go ahead and clear out everything so we have a clean chart. And Krisha, this is really interesting because we have a bull flag essentially being put in on your perfect Ichimoku setup right over here, right?
Yes.
If you go ahead and turn on your 200 moving average, I do believe you have it somewhere around here.
No, that's here. Let me.
I can't. Okay, that's the 10.
That's the 10. This right here is
okay,
the 200.
right over there. So now we're beginning to see everything line up. We have the 21 EMA cross over the 200 moving average. We have a bull flag set up over here. We even have this little candle that is really, really interesting because this happened overnight, drawing in a lot of breakout traders looking for that short squeeze trade probably, right? Because there was a big narrative all of last night and yesterday where people were like, way too many shots, and people may have wanted to front run this trade over here instead of waiting for the candle close. Remember, guys, do the mango way, wait for the candle close. We had got the candle close, right, and then you took the trade, well, that would have been fine, but we did not get the candle close. Instead, it just drew in all the liquidity, drew in all the short stops over here, as well as the long stops, and just sold back into it, took in that liquidity, and now there's more accumulation. This is looking like it at the very least, because we're not seeing continuation towards the downside, and that's really important. If we saw this rejection followed by continuation, that was a good pretense for a short trade towards the downside. playing the rejection of the higher time frames as well, or resistance, right? It's not a rejection anymore in the higher time frames. It's only a resistance because we're not seeing the follow through on the 4-hour time frame at all. If we were putting in new lows, losing the 21 EMA, breaking back down, that would be a rejection. But instead, it looks like a liquidity hunt at the moment. And if we do see candle closes above here now, well, that may actually line up with the next few days with the FOMC meeting, etc., etc.
Right. And also, I just want to bring one more thing up to everyone's attention. We have the 200 EMA sweeping in right here, and we actually have a bullish cross. What I'll be looking for is for these slopes to start sort of moving up. And I think if price actually starts breaking up above that $40,600 region, I'm saying we're likely going to end up seeing the EMAs as well start turning, right? We're looking for those slopes essentially to start, we're looking for positive slopes. All right, so that's what I'll be keeping my eyes peeled on. But yeah, this is the price action right now. The 4-hour is in a range of consolidation up against resistance. If we get positive news on the FOMC meeting, we could expect some positive price action.
Yep.
Right?
So Krisha, what are your thoughts on upside resistance? Would you still be looking for the same levels?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think the levels have really changed much. We sort of focus on those higher time frame resistances, and I particularly find that they usually have cascading effects onto the lower time frames as well. So I'm going to be giving that precedence. 47.5K is going to be the next region of contention I look at. Comes in around here.
What are your thoughts on these candle closes as well? What about these guys over here? At around 45K.
Yeah, I mean, we could see that. So I know you're looking at the 45K region. I'll also be giving, so what I'm looking for is the 21 EMA, which comes in here at around 42.9K, going all the way up to 47.5K. So I'm looking at the simple, I'm keeping it simple for myself. I'm looking at the weekly 21 EMA as the next target, going all the way up to the weekly Tenkin. If we get past the 21 EMA, I'm saying up to the Tenkin we go. It's if we take out the Tenkin, that's when I believe that the bulls are going to start taking over.
Yes, that's when the trend trades get activated again on my end as well. I'll be looking for the first big move to around 60,000 right after that. And if we do take out 60,000, well, 75,000, 100,000 next. So, but hey, we have a lot of work to do before then. We may never ever actually get there. We may put in a lower high. Remember, guys, from I think it was 2 weeks ago now, or was it around 10 days ago, we were talking about this exact 4-day structure to be put in place when Bitcoin was sitting around here, right? Oops, that's the wrong tool. Okay, there we go. When Bitcoin was sitting somewhere around here, right? We were like, okay, we're looking for the 4-day to start putting in a rounding formation. At the time, the daily looked like that, right? And we're like, this is not enough. We want the 4-day to look like this. And now it's looking like that. It's broken to the upside, but we want the continuation, the uptrend to actually show its face.
Yes, sirree. But Bitcoin still has strides to make before the trend traders can really come swinging in, right? Sean, are you ready to get into ENJ today?
Yes, let's do it.
Okie dokes. And why ENJ, guys? Because ENJ won the popular vote. Now, if you want us to cover any altcoin that you are playing or that you are looking at, make sure to go ahead, pause the video, get down to the comment section, and tell us which coin it is that you want us to cover. Okay, the popular vote wins. Today, it's ENJ. So, Sean, ENJ, I say let's start off from the weekly time frame. Okay, weekly, how about the Ichimoku? It's been a while since I last looked at ENJ. And,
interesting.
Right off the bat, I'm saying that it's looking a bit weak.
We can contrast this, Kusha, to yesterday's video on VeChain, I believe.
Yes.
Right? Look at the market reaction on VeChain, right? We had something very similar, but at the same time so starkly different, because we had the rejection, right? So every coin dumped, right? Just like VeChain did, ENJ has dumped too. Tested the Tenkin, but the following weeks, 2 weeks that transpired, VeChain closed above the 21 EMA.
Right.
ENJ has been closing underneath the 21 EMA.
Correct.
So we can use that as a base case to form our bias as to, hey, how's this looking? So that alone tells me that I'd rather wait for this close above the 21 EMA before taking any trades.
Correct. I agree with you on that, actually. So what I'll be waiting for, really, for Enj to give us some sort of, bullish turn is for us to start living over that weekly 21 EMA. So when I say live over, we usually look at candle body closes over the 21 EMA in this case. And that's something that VChin actually has. So now this 21 EMA comes in at $1.55. But does that necessarily mean that we couldn't get it to any earlier? The thing about trends is that a trend usually starts from your minor timeframes and then it goes up into those higher timeframes. Yep. So question is, what is Enj doing on the daily timeframe or the 12-hour timeframe? Let's get on over to the daily. Okay, so the daily is still currently being held down by the 21 EMA as well as the Tenkin. That the Ichimoku cloud, I believe, is red, right? And we have a bearish Tiki cross. How about the 12? Okay, now we're seeing something actually form on the 12-hour time frame. Are you guys seeing this? Right, we have a falling wedge.
Yep.
Okay, and it's sort of threatening. Catch. Yeah, it's threatening a break, or you could actually look at it as a break so far.
It is, we have because volume? Krisha, we almost have a bullish TK cross soon. That volume could come in on the bullish TK cross, leading into an edge to edge, maybe.
We have half decent volume here. Okay. What I'll be looking for, I'm gonna give something else more precedence here. Okay. To really anticipate whether or not we're going to see that next push to the upside for Enj. It's going to be us actually holding the 21 and the Tenkin on the 12-hour time frame. I believe that it does well off of these regions on the 12-hour, okay, from my back testing on this chart. So look for this region to be held as support. As soon as Enj actually starts closing candles underneath this 21 EMA Tenkin, I'm saying we're likely going to end up breaking back down into the falling wedge. And Sean, there have been so many times where we've seen price action like this, wherein price would break out of the pattern only to break back in and then get continuation to the downside, right? So I'll be looking for strength along this current region of support that we are testing. Okay, 21 EMA, which comes in at $1.37, going down to the Tenkin, which comes in at $1.36. What are your thoughts on this, Sean?
I wouldn't be able to trade this chart unless I was trading this only on the higher time frame. It looks far too choppy on the low time frames. I bet the 4 hours even worse. But my thoughts are I'd trade this on the higher time frames.
Let's also go ahead and check out the targets, okay? So if we start to actually making a move to the upside and we see this falling wedge actually come to fruition, where does that take us up to?
Ooh.
Nice. That's going to be a nice move. $2. That's the target for, and look at that. Look at the confluence there, eh? The measured move lining up with a critical region of resistance overhead.
So how about this? Could you just clear out your Ichimoku now? Now this chart looks a little bit more methodical, eh? Because I feel like structure is a little bit easier to see without the Ichimoku on.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And also I feel like if we start breaking that $2 region, notice we trigger something else here. Are you seeing that?
Inverted head and shoulders. I'm not a pattern, but I don't know.
It's going to be like an Adam and Eve formation.
There you go.
And that then is going to have even more bullish implications to the upside, because this pattern also has a measured move of its own. But it's only once we start getting up there will I actually come up with some future targets with you guys. But I'm saying that if this falling wedge actually sees continuation to the upside, I'm saying $2 is going to be the next target on the chart.
And if we break $2? If we break
$2, oh, you want those targets? Okay, let's put it in. What the hell? Why not?
There we go.
All right, this is going to be the next measured move. This would take Enj all the way up to $3.10.
Let's look at the weekly now. I think that lines up with something. There we go. The candle close highs. That is brilliant. And this chart now suddenly becomes a lot more appetizable to me. I love to see this. I love to see this kind of
confluence, right?
Because it shows you that there is a method in which this chart is being dumped and pumped, right? No. I mean it when I say it.
But no, this is cool. But all right, so these are your crazy upside targets for Enj. But also, Sean, let's just give them a couple of downside targets, because if we actually do start seeing technical weakness on this chart, where could Enj possibly get down to? You know what? I'm actually going to go back into the weekly. I think the weekly is going to give us a better sort of, hint on this. We start breaking back down past this wick right here. I'm just gonna get my brush out. Okay, now this wick, the wick low comes in at $1.15. I'm saying further down we come to test this region right here. Okay, 90 cents.
Yep.
We start breaking back down below 90 cents, then buckle in because it's going to be a volatile move all the way down to 43 cents.
Ooh.
Thoughts?
Nope, I think you covered it all.
Okay, brilliant. So now this is all we have for you guys. Let us know what your thoughts are, and don't forget to tell us what altcoin you want us to cover in tomorrow's video. Now with this, guys, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao.
Ciao, guys.